Always an exciting time to have you join us on Sports Pizza. Welcome to another episode where we give you all that is happening in the world of sport from the FIFA Women's World Cup 2023, I must say. And we've been seeing entertaining games, from not so big teams and of course the big teams. And our very own Super Falcons were able to come to play a draw against a very, very strong team, talking about Canada. All of this we have for you today on the show. Also, we have to touch base with what is happening on the home front, talking about Nigerian students preparing to travel to China for the university games. All of this, just like I said, we have for you. Also, we have transfer news. You definitely want to stick around. But we'll be going on a very, very quick break. When we come back, it will be time for all the stories we have for you on the show. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Sports Pizza. Yeah, we have a lot for you today on the show, so let's get into it. Just like I said in my opening speech, I said that the FIFA Women's World Cup 2023, as a matter of fact, started with a bang, talking about the host nation, co-host, by the way, New Zealand, making sure that they started their campaign on a very, very bright note, beating Norway. Yeah, when you look at New Zealand and Norway, you probably think Norway should be able to get better of New Zealand, but the host nation are telling us that we are not just hosting for fun, we also want to win, maybe not win the tournament, but go far in that particular one. A 47th minute goal in the second half, as the start of the second half, was all New Zealand needed, to take maximum points in the opening game of the tournament. Also, another host, talking about the co-host, Australia, made it another opening game a victory for themselves by beating Ireland 1-0, though that goal came via a penalty. But it was an entertaining one between the Australian team, talking about the Australian team from Asia, and Ireland from Europe. And of course, we saw our very own Super Falcons playing out a goalless draw with Canada. And talking about playing the goalless draw, Canada could have won that game. Also, the Super Falcons could have won that game. But one particular name is on the lips of everybody in Nigeria right now when it comes to female football, and that is Chiamaka Nnadozie, our goalkeeper, who was able to come clutch for the team by saving a second half penalty from Sinclair. I'm talking about Sinclair. Sinclair is the all-time highest goal scorer when it comes to football, both in male and female football. Talking about for national team, but she was not able to score. Goalkeeper Chiamaka, who stood strong. Of course, that reminds me of the David song, "Standing Strong." But Chiamaka was able to stand strong and save that penalty that end the Super Falcons a goalless draw in that game. They needed that point. Because their next game is against the host nation, one of the host nations, talking about Australia. And I'm hoping they can get maximum points against them. And of course, their job should be made easier by the fact that Samantha Kerr, also the Australia Leeds woman, also, the Australia striker will be missing in that particular game. She missed the first game against Ireland, and of course she'll be missing the second game against the Super Falcons. Get maximum points against Australia, then you might probably see a chance of you maybe playing a draw against Ireland in the last game, or maybe you can even beat Ireland, and that will give them 7 points and a chance to qualify from that particular group. But all is definitely on that particular second game against Australia. Other results also saw Denmark beating China 1-0, England beating Haiti 1-0. Talking about Haiti were able to push the English ladies, far in that particular game. But a first-half penalty was all England needed, to win that particular game. The number 6 for Haiti, Deborah, I hope I got the name correctly, is a revelation already in this tournament. She's definitely destined for great things in women football. Sweden beat South Africa 2-1. Sweden had to come from a goal down to win that particular game. Italy also defeated Argentina 1-0. Holland got better, Portugal 1-0. France and Jamaica played a goalless draw. Of course, that was the first upset. Well, maybe the second upset, if you want to count New Zealand beating Norway as an upset. Then Jamaica versus France is another upset, because that game ended goalless, and the Jamaicans celebrated at the end of the game. Of course, you definitely want to celebrate when you are able to get a draw against the number 5 ranked team in the world. Jamaica, by the way, they are ranked 45 when it comes to women's football, but they were able to hold their own against the 5th ranked team in world football, and that is France. USA got the better of Vietnam 3-0. Because when you're talking about USA and Vietnam, what comes to your mind? The Vietnam War. But no war here. It was just all about football, with the Americans beating Vietnam 3-0. Zambia lost to Japan 5-0. Because that's the most scoring game in the FIFA Women's World Cup so far. Japan beating Zambia 5-0. Spain beating Costa Rica 3-0, and Switzerland beating Philippines 2-0. So that's that regarding the FIFA Women's World Cup. But this particular World Cup is shaping up to be a very, very entertaining one. When it comes to the FIFA Women's World Cup, this tournament so far has shown us that there are no minors in the world of football. I want you to get that right here. So moving away from that, let's touch base with America, and one man made his debut for Inter Miami over the weekend, and of course that debut ended in a very, very good one. Of course, some people will tell you that he is the greatest player of all time. Others will also want to argue that the certain Portuguese man is also the greatest player of all time. But Lionel Messi made his debut for Inter Miami, a football club that is co-owned by England free kick taker, a legendary free kick taker, and of course the right winger, and that is David Beckham. Messi came into the game around the 52nd minute thereabout, and the game was tied 1-1 as at the 93rd minute, and the free kick was awarded to Inter Miami. And step forward the greatest player of all time, arguably the greatest player of all time, Lionel Messi, and he was able to dispatch a stoppage time free kick, in the 94th minute to give Inter Miami a 2-1 victory in his first game against Cruz Azul. By the way, that was Inter Miami's first victory in 13 games. Yeah, they've lost 12 games in a row. But when Lionel Messi stepped onto the pitch, definitely magic must happen. And magic was what happened over the weekend, leading Inter Miami to a 2-1 victory. So a very, very good result. David Beckham was very, very happy with that particular result. And also his wife, Victoria Beckham, was in the stand also. LeBron James was in the stand. Serena Williams was also in the stand. Kim Kardashian was also in the stand watching Lionel Messi, creating magic. And all of them were stunned by what Lionel Messi did. Talking about GOAT watching GOAT. I mean, Serena Williams is one of the greatest of all time when it comes to the world of tennis. Also, LeBron James, one of the greatest of all time when it comes to the world of basketball. But they came onto the pitch to watch the GOAT make his debut for Inter Miami, and that ended in victory for Inter Miami. So that means they got value for their money. So moving away from that, another game happened over the weekend in the world of football, talking about Premier League teams playing against each other in the United States of America in a preseason games. Arsenal fans were feeling proud, were feeling pompous before that particular game against Manchester United. But then again, Bruno Fernandes and Jadon Sancho had other ideas. 2 quick goals in the first half was all United needed to beat Arsenal 2-0 in normal time. Then it went to a penalty shootout. You might be wondering, why are they playing the penalty game in preseason? Well, it is part of the rules, for that particular tournament they are currently in. It's a Premier League it's a Premier League series in the United States of America, a preseason series, by the way. And of course, United still won 5-3 on penalties. Talking about beating Arsenal normal time, still beating them on penalties. Well, it is what it is. United fans are kind of feeling proud right now. But then again, it is world of football. Arsenal fans were saying it's just preseason. It's just preseason. They are experimenting. United fans, after what their manager said, talking about everything, I said this is not just a preseason game. This is something that is very, very serious. So no friendly when it comes to Manchester United versus Arsenal game, according to what Ten Hag said. So United defeated Arsenal 2-0 normal time and 5-3 on penalty. Also, Chelsea were able to get better of Brighton, beating Brighton 4-3. Immediately the Arsenal game stopped, Chelsea game, kicked off, and Chelsea in a 7-goal thriller, but they won that one 4-3. It's been a while. Chelsea won 2 games in a row. I mean, off the back of what happened to them last season, but this feels like a bit of fresh, a bit of fresh air, within the team right now. Mauricio Pochettino is doing great things with the boys, and you can see already the pattern he wants to play with his team. Because they won their first preseason game against Wrexham, 5-0, also in the United States of America, with them beating Brighton again. So that's 2 wins in a row for the team. Mudryk was in a very, very good mood. Christopher Nkunku, 2 goals in 2 games. Nicholas Jackson, also 2 assists in 2 games. So everyone is trying to impress the new coach. But then again, the Premier League is starting very, very soon. We will see who is the pretender and who definitely means business this season. Real Madrid also played their preseason game against their first preseason game against AC Milan over the weekend. AC Milan went into a 2-goal lead, and probably they thought they've won the game, but Real Madrid came back stronger, beating them 3-2. Vinicius Jr. finishing the game, scoring the 3rd goal after a brilliant pass, from Luka Modric, set him through, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and was able to dispatch, that ball into the back of the net to give Real Madrid a 3-2 victory. So that's that regarding Real Madrid versus AC Milan. City also were able to win 5-3 away in Asia, with Alan coming off the bench to score 2 goals. John Stones also scoring for them, as well as Rodri, literally passing the ball into the net. So that's that regarding preseason. Also, Newcastle United were able, playing a 3-3 draw with the West Midland clubs. And of course, Unai Emery, the coach of Aston Villa, is trying to create a formidable team going into next season. Of course, talking about creating a formidable team, we'll be talking about transfers later on the show. And of course, Newcastle United were headed out. They are going to be playing in the Champions League, so they are trying to get their hands on players there. But I'm very sure they will have seen, both coaches will have seen 1 or 2 things that they need to change, going into next season. Well, all of that, we're keeping our fingers crossed. Let's see what is going to happen when the Premier League season starts. So we're going on a very, very quick break right now. When we come back, we still have more news for you from the local scene as well as from the world of Formula 1. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. I'm very sure you enjoyed the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes thereabout of the show. Just so you know, you can send us your thoughts, your suggestions, and of course your adverts. Just send us a message on our social media platform across all social media platforms. Talking about Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also send us a mail with the email address being displayed on your screen. So let's get into it again. Talking about the final lap of the show. Let's start off with the world of transfers and tell you that Newcastle United have been able to get their hand on Leicester City winger, talking about Harvey Barnes, who completed a £38 million move to the Toons, of course, as they are fondly called. And of course, another player is leaving Newcastle United, and that is Alan Saint-Maximin, who is on his way to Saudi Arabia as we speak. So a very, very good deal for Newcastle United. Of course, good morning for Leicester City. Harvey Barnes has left the club. Harvey Barnes has left Leicester City, and I'm very sure you also know that Daniel Amate has also left Leicester City for Turkey, out to the James Maddison that moved to Tottenham Hotspur, and Yuri Telemans that moved to Aston Villa. I don't know what Kelechi Iheanacho and Wilfred Ndidi, I don't know what they are still doing at the club. Well, whatever they are doing, well, they better do it well next season, so Leicester City can get back into the Premier League. Moving away from Harvey Barnes, Musa Diaby has also completed his move from Bayer Leverkusen to Aston Villa. Talking about Aston Villa, I spoke earlier on about Unai Emery and what he's creating over there in West Midlands. They already signed Pau Torres from Villarreal, they signed Yuri Telemans from Leicester City. Now they've added Musa Diaby to that particular list, and I'm very sure they are not done yet with the transfer market. Well, Aston Villa is another team everyone should watch out for coming next season in the Premier League. But a good deal for Musa Diaby, because he also had a deal from Saudi Arabia, but he rejected that one and decided that he still wants to stay in England to continue of course in Europe, to continue his football. Samuel Chukwueze is in the news this time around, and of course for the good reasons, not because of injury or for anything that he did. And the news is that Samuel Chukwueze is close to signing for AC Milan. Yeah, AC Milan, I don't know what they are cooking, but whatever they are cooking, we are definitely interested in it at this particular moment. Cast your mind back to last season, they were able to tie down Rafael Leao to their Portuguese winger to a new contract, and they've signed Noah Okafor from Red Bull Salzburg in Austria, from the Austria League, and now they're about to complete the signing of Samuel Chukwueze from Villarreal. A good move for me, a good transfer for AC Milan. They want to go back to being Serie A champions. Will they be able to do it? Well, that is left to be seen. Well, I would definitely be delighted to see Samuel Chukwueze play for the Rossoneri. Moving here from Samuel Chukwueze to one man that the club is telling him, sign a contract extension or you can leave the club this summer. And if you're not going to leave the club, we will allow you to sit on the bench for the duration, for the entire season. And that is the French captain, Kylian Mbappe. And of course, the news right now is that the authorities over there in Paris have told him that you need to leave the club this summer if you are not going to be signing a contract extension. And Mbappe is saying, well, I don't want to sign a contract extension. I don't want to leave now. I want to see out the remainder of my contract, which remains just a year left. And why is that? According to a report, Kylian Mbappe will be getting £100 million as loyalty bonus if he sees out his contract as Paris Saint-Germain. And of course, he is expected to sign as a free transfer for Real Madrid. I'm talking about signing as a free transfer for Real Madrid. He's also probably going to get in the region of £100 million as sign-on bonus for Real Madrid. So that's £2 million for Kylian Mbappe. Talking about Ogbon Sadiq, as my brothers in Yoruba land will always say. Kylian Mbappe is trying to be smart at this particular moment. But Paris Saint-Germain won't allow that to happen. They are telling him, sign a contract extension, or you can leave right now. They've told us that Mbappe is in the market. Who wants to sign Mbappe? Manchester United, Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea. I even heard Tottenham Hotspur being linked with Mbappe. I just smiled when I heard that Tottenham Hotspur signed Mbappe. Of course, Mbappe will definitely won't want to play for Tottenham Hotspur. But his mind, according to what we've been getting, is set on playing for Real Madrid. So any club that signs Mbappe right now should know that after a year or two, Mbappe would probably be moving to Real Madrid. And of course, talking about moving to Real Madrid, a club in Saudi Arabia said they are ready to pay Paris Saint-Germain 200 million euros and also pay Kylian Mbappe 200 million euros over 2 years. And they will include a clause in his deal, in his contract, that he can only move to Real Madrid. So will Mbappe go to Saudi Arabia? That is left to be seen. Or will he sit on the bench at Paris Saint-Germain for one season? That is also left to be seen. Talking about a player not sitting on the bench, and they want a conclusion to this saga very, very soon, and that is Harry Kane. Tottenham Hotspur co-owner has said that Harry Kane must be sold this summer, according to reports. He must not be allowed to run down his contract. And Bayern are in the lookout for a striker, and they are monitoring the situation closely, and they feel very, very confident that they can get their hand on Harry Kane. Would they be able to do that? Well, that is left to be seen. Chelsea are also interested in signing Moise Caicedo. The last report we heard is that they offered £70 million for Moise Caicedo, which was rejected by Brighton's chairman, and that is Tony Bloom. The report is that they are looking at the Declan Rice deal to Arsenal, 105, and they feel Moise Caicedo should be any club that's going to sign Moise Caicedo should pay up to that level for him. I mean, if Arsenal can buy Declan Rice for 105, definitely Chelsea should be able to cough out £100 million for Moise Caicedo. What is football turning into? What is transfer turning into? Well, that is left to be seen if he is going to move or not. Another player also from England potentially moving to Chelsea or to Man City, and that is Michael Olise. Yeah, Michael Olise is in the news, and the report is that both Chelsea and City are looking at signing Michael Olise. City, I can understand, because Riyad Mahrez is gone, Gundogan is gone, and there's a potential exit, on the horizon for Bernardo Silva. So I understand that they need a player to come in. But Chelsea, I mean, they have Noni Madueke on the right wing. There's still Chukwuemeka also on the right wing. We also have Hakim Ziyech that is still within the club. And of course, on the left wing, there's a certain Christopher Nkunku and Modric and Raheem Sterling that can play that position. I don't know where they want to fit in Michael Olise at this particular moment. Talking about Olise can play for Nigeria, can play for France, can play for Algeria, and can play for England. Your guess is as good as mine. he will definitely not pick Nigeria when it comes to choosing a national team. But right now, he has the luxury of choosing between Chelsea and Man City for his next club, moving if he eventually moves from Crystal Palace. And talking about Crystal Palace, Wilfred Zaha has left the club to join Turkish club Galatasaray. So that's that regarding a transfer at this particular moment. Moving away from that, let's go to the world of Formula 1 and tell you that Max Verstappen has won again after he won the Hungarian Grand Prix over the weekend. Of course, that was the 12th consecutive victory for Red Bull, and that's an history itself, and of course a record-breaking 12 straight Formula 1 race victory for Red Bull. I'm very sure Mercedes on the other side will probably be wondering that what are these guys doing that we are doing wrong? What are they doing right that we are doing wrong right now at this particular moment? And I'm very sure that is why Lewis Hamilton has not signed a new contract with Mercedes. Probably they are trying to look at how they can better Red Bull going into next season. I'm very sure this season is over for any other constructors right now. And of course, Lewis Hamilton won't be able to match or won't be able to catch up with Max Verstappen, who is an outright winner for the Formula 1 season for 2023. And Red Bull also are the winners also for the world for the year 2023. 12 straight victory for Red Bull, a very, very commendable achievement. And lastly, just before we leave, let's come back to Nigeria and tell you something, a bit of good news, for the Nigerian University sport, terrain, because 27 athletes will be traveling to Chengdu, China, to represent Nigeria in the university games that will be happening, later this year. Yeah, a physical game over there in Chengdu, China. And of course, the 27 athletes will be competing in 6 sports, talking about tennis, taekwondo, athletics, badminton, judo, and of course, table tennis. The first tennis I mentioned was definitely lawn tennis. So they will be competing in lawn tennis, taekwondo, athletics, badminton, judo, and table tennis. A bit of good news for you, because as at 2-3 weeks ago, we were not sure if they will be traveling to China to represent the country, but they were able to come up with 27 students out of 55 thereabout that were rumored that were supposed to travel initially. But this 27, will they be able to achieve something great? Well, the Nigeria spirit is definitely following them, so they should be able to achieve something, maybe gold, silver, or bronze. I'm talking about achieving something. I'm very sure we've been able to serve you news around the world, from football to Formula 1 to Nigeria sport, and of course to the FIFA Women's World Cup. Of course, we'll be back on the screen next week to still give you all the news making around in the world of sport. But before we go, we have to serve you this Sport Pizza play of the day. And also, I'm saying this again, make sure you send us all the messages, suggestions, also even if it's an advertisement, across our social media platform at Sports Pizza on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Also send us a mail with the email we displayed on your screen. My name is Adeni Abafemi Falano. Till we'll come away again next week. Bye for now.